One. Hi, everyone. So super excited to welcome Claire on to share her story with you all. And yeah, thanks for coming on, Claire. This is going to be super fun for us to reminisce on your journey and also share it with everyone. Now, we ended up working together for 12 months, right?
Yeah.
It's been 6 months since we stopped.
Yeah, I think we finished working together in May, I want to say.
Okay, I've completely lost track of time this year.
I know.
So yeah, thanks all for watching. If you're watching live, hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay, just so we know who's seen it. And yeah, let's get straight into it, Claire. So
yeah, no worries.
Where do we start on such an epic journey and transformation? Perhaps you could start by introducing yourself to everyone and telling everyone where you were at mentally and physically when we met, when you reached out to us, and a bit of history about your wellness journey and struggles in the past.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name's Claire. I am from Essex, as you can probably tell from my accent. I'm 32, or nearly 33. I have always struggled with weight, mental health, wellness, trying to be, genuine to myself and everything since I was young, like since I was a teenager, I would say. Always, the tallest and the heaviest in my classes. I was, quite severely bullied, had really bad self-esteem sort of issues, went from bad relationship to bad relationship, and, I tried to cope with drink and drugs and basically every self-destructive thing that you can think of. I probably did it. And then I just, over the last few years, I just really got to the point where I'd had enough of feeling like that. I honestly, I hated myself, my body, the way I looked, everything. And I thought, you know what, let's just try and change it up a little bit. And maybe if I try loving myself and loving my body, and I don't know, maybe that will give me a different outcome. I think Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Love that one.
Yeah, I work in sales, so my sales director bloody loves that. And I applied it to my life, and thought, well, I need to do something different. So I started, because I've always been like plus size, so I started doing plus size modeling. That really helped my self-esteem. I met my husband, and he's really helped me with my sort of self-love journey. And then I started seeing a counsellor, so that really helped, like mentally, to help deal with the issues and stuff from my past. And the final piece of the puzzle was, I guess, meeting Scott and Vida and getting a coach. It's something that I had thought about for years, but I was skeptical, as people generally are, about online coaching and stuff. And I thought, I'm just going to go for it. And it was honestly one of the best things I ever did. So when did we meet? Was it, I think it was May 2019.
Yeah,
when we started working together.
Yeah.
So I spent a couple of weeks talking to different coaches. I've been vegan for nearly 3 years, by the way. And it was really important to me that my coaches were on the same journey as I was, in terms of being plant-based or vegan. And I spoke to several coaches, and Scott and Vida really just got me, really understood where I was coming from. And I, really liked their energy, and I felt like they would be really able to help me. So I went to Las Vegas for a week for business, but then also ended up, my husband came out and we spent a couple of days out there just, gambling, getting drunk. I got a tattoo like a stupid o'clock in the morning.
I remember this actually clearly, because we spoke initially, I think, before you left. And then you went on the holiday, you got back and you said, right, enough's enough, let's do this.
Yeah, I just had like a last sort of blowout, I guess. And one of the things that you said to me continuously throughout our relationship is, after every restriction, there's what is it you say? After every restriction, there's
bigger the restriction, the bigger the binge.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and that's basically what I'd done. I was sort of eating 1,200 calories. You know, not eating any carbs, just doing cardio, all the standard stuff, you know, that people do. Didn't want to lift weights in case I got like muscular or masculine or whatever, because I'm tall and, you know, big enough as it is. So I didn't want to look even more, you know, like whatever. So basically I'd been restricting myself the whole time, and then just went on like a massive like 6-month binge basically, and it ended with Las Vegas. And I was in such a bad place, I can't even tell you. Like, my anxiety was through the roof. I was really struggling mentally. And then obviously that's why I decided to start working with you guys. And my transformation in, you know, 12, 18 months has just been incredible in terms of how I feel mentally, physically, my flexibility, my confidence. It's wonderful. It really is.
It's been a profound transformation, Claire. And like you say, we're not just talking physical. I mean, you've lost loads of weight, but you've had a full, we call it a character shift. It's a full mindset shift. The way you, you know, you think about life, your body, your consumption. It's just been so profound. It's been a beautiful journey to witness. So what do you feel was like the most helpful aspects of the coaching? Why do you feel that it was such an amazing journey for you, and what helped the most?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think that one of the biggest things is that you helped me find my true self. And I know that sounds really cliche, a little bit cheesy, but you did. Like my true self, this really, you know, nature loving, animal loving, sort of hippie vegan, this really kind person that was in there that cares about other people was in there, and this, you know, caring about myself. And you helped me sort of strip away those layers of like negativity and toxicity and like I don't know, how I'd been brainwashed by diet culture and society. You helped me strip away those layers, and I started living my true self. And now I'm proud of like the person I am. I don't have a drinking problem anymore. Like on Wednesday, for instance, we went out for work and went for lunch, had a couple of gin and tonics, and I came home. Whereas 12 months ago, that would have turned into an all-night session. I probably would end up staying around some random's house, not a guy, I mean my colleague or something, and like, you know, just not going home because I was so smashed. And you know, that's not even on my radar anymore, that sort of destructive behavior.
So that's really interesting, because it's not often people think about diet and consumption about just food, but consumption is the people we hang around with, you know, people's energy, alcohol, social media, all of this is consumption. So it led to you, this whole kind of mindfulness practice, and your journey led to you just being more aware and more conscious of every area of your life, and things that were either serving you and serving your higher purpose and aligned with your morals, or not serving you. So I think it enabled you to kind of take a step back. And you said it exactly right, Claire. It's we always say that it's not so much about becoming something, it's getting rid of all the BS and unbecoming everything we're not. And that's 100%. Exactly what it was. Intrinsically, like deep down, you were, you know, this caring, loving, nature loving vegan, but you know, societal brainwashing and conditioning from growing up and all the traumas, it makes us become something we're not. So it's just about stripping away the layers of the onion and getting back down to our true self.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. And now your journey was incredible, but let's not get it twisted. It wasn't plain sailing.
Oh God, no.
and you know, life isn't. So we can't think that, you know, a wellness journey is going to be perfect. You know, we lose 2 or 3 pounds a week and everything's, you know, roses. It's not the case. Life throws us curveballs, and it's all about doing with what we have. That's what wellness should be. It should be fully symbiotic with our lifestyles. Whatever happens, not something that comes and goes when times get hard.
Yeah, sure.
You had a roller coaster, right? And tough times going on emotionally and personally, but you soldiered on and persevered through it.
Yeah, and I realised like meeting you guys and working with you when we started working together was a blessing in disguise, because I think that if I wasn't working with you when we were working together throughout sort of last year, I probably would have gone off the rails. So for people that don't sort of follow me on social media and not aware, in the space of 12 months, my family and I lost my nan and two of my aunts on my mum's side, so my mum's sisters and my mum's mum, and it was the most horrendous time. I can't even tell you. I'm trying not to cry because I didn't want to do that on this, even though it is emotional. And they helped me. They pushed me to keep going to the gym, you know, to stick with my meditation and yoga practice, to take care of myself, and it just helped to speak to them. You know, they're not just, Scott and Viola aren't just fitness coaches or PTs, the guys that you see down the gym. They're so much more than that. And I realized if I could stay healthy and mindful and conscious throughout that period of my life, then I would get through anything. And honestly, this whole lockdown hasn't affected me at all. It's been a very positive experience for me, because last year was hell. And if I can get through that, and seeing my nan and my aunts go downhill and get so unwell as they did, and it was a very, very challenging time, then I can get through anything, you know.
Absolutely, Claire. No, yeah, truly inspirational. And again, it's not just the steps you've made forward, looking after yourself and prioritizing your wellness. It's the steps you haven't necessarily taken back.
Absolutely.
You know, going through all that stuff with your losses, all those people, your nan was so dear to you, and all this crazy lockdown stuff. That's the time to really be even more mindful and prioritize our wellness, as hard as it may be.
Yeah, and it's like the last thing you want to do, and you're like, oh, you know, I really don't want to do this right now. I don't have I'm not in the right mindset. I don't have the right energy for it, but you know it's necessary and you have to do it. And as you said, it's not plain sailing. Like, you can't just, signing up for coach is not a magic pill. Going to the gym isn't a magic pill. It's all encompassing. It's like a complete lifestyle change. And I appreciate not everyone's ready for that, but it is one of the best things I've ever done.
Amazing. So pleased to hear, Claire. And we opened the doors, but you put the work in and you made it happen. And like you say, it's not a secret sauce or a magic pill. You've got to really want it and grab it with both hands. And you did. You're at that stage in your life where enough was enough and you really wanted it. So let's talk about life since the coaching, because this is an interesting one. We work with some people for 4 months, some people for 6, some people for 12 months. And often we find some of our clients can get almost separation anxiety when they feel the coaching is coming to an end, because they've had that accountability, that support, that structure. And Vida and I, our ultimate goal is always to empower women and educate and get you to fly alone. Some people take different amounts of time, but we don't want people to rely on us. That's not what coaching is about. It's not a dictatorship, it's an autonomy. We want to rise together and let people fly alone. So how was it transitioning from coaching, being coached with us for 12 months, and then kind of looking after yourself? And how was that process and the mindset and the transition?
So it was daunting, don't get me wrong, when you know, we stopped working together and I was like, right, guys, I think I'm going to do this on my own. I was really scared that I was going to go straight back into my old ways, but I didn't. And, you know, for the whole of the 6 months after, we've pretty much been in this whole pandemic sort of lockdown situation. And if I was going to go back to my old ways at any time, it would have been then, because, you know, the gyms were closed, and I'm a gym bunny, as you know. I hate doing home workouts. I say hate, that's a strong word, but they're not my favorite, let's just put it that way. And I love going to the gym and going swimming and sitting in the steam room and all that sort of stuff, and all that was closed, you know. So it was challenging, don't get me wrong, but you know, I just knew that I couldn't go back to my old ways. I just knew, like, that person that I used to be a year ago, 18 months ago, beyond that, I do not recognize her. She was just responding to trauma. She was not in a good place, and I, you know, respect the journey that I've come on and the money that I've spent, the progress I've made, everything. I don't want to go back to that.
Well, the investment in yourself, financially, with time, with energy, you threw yourself in, and that's what it takes. It takes commitment, and it takes an all-in mentality. So the time since you stopped being coached by us has been, you're still going from strength to strength, embracing everything, still growing every day.
Yeah, I'm still I'm still doing yoga, I'm still meditating. I'm not working out as much as I was, don't get me wrong. I'm a little bit less toned, but I got down to like my lowest weight that I've been in my adult life.
Amazing.
Since we, after we stopped working together, because I carried on that journey, especially for the 3 months like directly following us stopping working together. I was just on it. Like, I was so focused. The last 3 months I've been less focused because I've been so busy with work and I've been on holiday and things like that. But I'm now, for the last sort of quarter of the year, I'm going to be on it again. I'm like, focused. I said to my husband at the weekends, we went to a hotel and, had a few drinks and dinner and stuff like that. And I said, right, this is my last sort of, big thing. But the great thing is you don't have to stop eating out and drinking and whatever you want to do, but it's just, you have to do it mindfully and in moderation.
Exactly.
You can't expect to just keep going over your calories like every day and just smashing pizza and things like that and not put on fat or weight or whatever. It's just not going to work.
And it's not about like cutting out all our favorite things. This is life, and it's got to be sustainable. It's not about punishment and restriction. It's about, like you say, just making more mindful choices. So we've touched on like the exercise and the movement. You found your joy in movement and started moving through self-love.
I know. I love yoga. I love yoga, and I never thought I would. I never thought I was going to be that person that could do yoga. I was always too tall and too big, and
I loved it when you were on the beach in Florida, I think, and you were sending us yoga poses with the sunset, and it was beautiful. You just fully embraced it. So going back to nutrition, Claire, because you've talked about your unhealthy relationship with food and this like restrict, binge, repeat, and trying all these diets and things. What do you feel's changed with nutrition? Like, how are you fueling your body now, and how do you see food?
So I think there's 2 points. So I realised, and the penny dropped, I think, for me about halfway through our program, where and I sort of touched upon it. You can't expect to go over your calorie sort of allowance or energy balance, whatever you want to call it, every day and expect not to put on weight. And the same as if you're on a calorie deficit every day, you will lose weight. It's just a fact. And that's what I realized. It's not rocket science. It's actually quite simple when you think about it. And if you're in a calorie deficit and you're treating your body with love and whole foods, because on a physical level, when I'm consuming more whole foods, more plants, instead of like vegan junk food, because let's face it, the amount of options we have these days, it's so easy to be a junk food vegan, and there's nothing wrong with that, but factually, it's not the healthiest diet, and it might be delicious, but it's not the healthiest. And I realized on a physical level, like my energy is better when I'm eating more whole foods. I sleep better, my periods are better. And I wanted to mention that as well, because obviously the majority, if not all of the people that you work with are women. And for me, on a personal level, I know that everyone's situation is different, but my cycle is so much more regular now. I have like one heavy day and then I'm light for like a couple of days. My periods are shorter now. When I'm eating healthier food, when I have more sugar and things like that, it affects me. I can literally feel it. And I think, God, did I used to feel like that all the time? Did I just feel like shit the whole time? And I never noticed.
And as Vida always says, your cycle is a representation of your overall health most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And what would you recommend someone in your position, where you were at, 18 months ago before we met, that's, been struggling with weight loss and wellness all their lives, what would be your main piece of advice?
Oh God, that's a good question. The first thing is to love yourself. Do not punish yourself for where you're at physically, mentally. Just, love yourself, nurture your body, respect your body, move your body, but not because you hate it, but because you love it. Mm-hmm. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give, is just changing your mindset to think positively about things and celebrate the small things, and I thought it was a bit corny, like when Vida made me do this, the gratitude practice she was making me do every morning. I was very resistant to it, and when I say resistant, I'd literally argue with them about why do I need to do this.
These are the things which benefit us the most that we're resistant to, and we push through. There's a reason we're resistant.
And now I do it all the time. I do gratitude practices all the time. Like yesterday, I was driving in my car, and I'm not a great driver, and I was very stressed. I was quite, my anxiety was like, I could feel it rising. And I just sat there in my car doing a gratitude practice.
Amazing.
And, and it calmed me down. And I was just like, I'm grateful that I can drive. I'm grateful that I've got my health. I'm grateful that I haven't crashed yet. Just things like that.
But you can do it anywhere, a gratitude practice, and it's physically impossible to feel negative emotions when we're expressing gratitude. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, that's the biggest thing, is just to really embrace yourself for who you are, love yourself, and just just push on, whether it's physically, mentally, whatever you need to do, just get it done.
Fantastic advice. And what about anyone, and we know there's a lot of you that are sitting on the fence with online coaching with us, or even just getting help from another professional? Mm-hmm. What would be your advice about getting help? Because I think a lot of people see reaching out and getting help as a weakness, where the reality is it's a huge strength to be vulnerable, accept ourselves where we're at, and realize we need help. So what would be your advice for someone looking to get help, either with us or with another professional?
So, sorry, there was a massive fly then. So I think that whoever you're speaking to, whether it is a coach or a PT or a counsellor, whatever, just embrace it. And if you are feeling triggered, or you're feeling uncomfortable, there's a reason for that. And I would sit in those feelings and explore those further. And so before, when I wasn't dealing with stuff, I would use drink and drugs and whatever else, and, self-harming to mask those problems. And I felt okay, but not because I was dealing with everything, but because I was like masking everything, covering it. And now I've actually dealt with my traumas and the issues I have with food and things like that. I'm now, I don't know, I'm just happy, so if you are sitting on the fence, I know it's difficult, and I know it's scary, but just honestly, it'll be the best thing you've ever done. But it's not going to be easy at the same time. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You are going to feel triggered. You are going to feel resistant. You're going to feel even angry or sad at some points, but it will be worth it when you come out the other side.
100%. And often, I don't know whether you can relate, Claire, that we make up excuses and self-limiting beliefs, thinking, can I afford it? It's expensive. Yeah. Have I got the time? I've got a big family I've got to look after. Where the reality is, what it comes down to 99% of the time is having an attachment to our old self and being afraid of change. And, we can tell ourselves lies, but when we invest in ourselves and get a coach or an accountability partner, then that's it. It's time. We've got to make a change now, because someone's going to pull us up and call us out. So that's it. Scary for a lot of people, because they know, right, now's the time.
It is scary. Yeah, change is scary, because you've got this like identity that you're attached to, that's your old sort of self, and it's really hard to let that go, especially for like me. I'd spent 20 years as that old sort of person with those demons and issues and everything, and it was really hard to start that journey to go vegan, to get a coach, to get a counselor, all of those things.
Yeah,
it was really hard, but it was necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. And didn't you recently have a moment where you were hanging on to all your old clothes and some stuff from the past because you still felt an attachment to it, and then you had this kind of epiphany or realization where you thought, well, I'm never going to be that person again, I'm never going to be that weight again, why am I hanging on to this? And you just had a massive clear out and got rid of loads of stuff.
Yeah, I've literally got rid of like, we, you know, in the UK we have these big like pink recycling bags, and I've got rid of 10 of those of clothes, and I'm not even done yet. Like, and it's clothes going back 10 years, because before I met Scott and Vida, I'd gone up and down in this sort of freestone bracket, where I just, you know, lost the weight, put it on again, lost the weight, put it on again, etc. And these clothes, they're all various sizes in those brackets, because I've gone up and down. And I was like, do you know what? I'm never going to be bigger than this. I'm only going to get smaller and fitter and lighter. And a lot of the clothes were attached to my old personality of like when I used to seek attention from the wrong type of people, and I used to wear certain types of clothes to get a reaction and stuff like that. I just don't identify with them anymore. And I just looked at them and thought, I'm never going to wear that again. Why am I keeping it? And it was so freeing to just strip myself of not only those clothes and just get rid of them, but my old sort of identity. And I'm fully like embracing this new side. And I felt very self-conscious about being vegan, and, you know, people challenging me on that and asking me loads of questions. And I'm like, no, I'm just like, what? Yeah, I'm vegan.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? Like, you know, and yeah, I've lost weight, and I'm just myself. And that confidence that comes from within when you're your true self, there's nothing like it.
Nothing like it. Well, amazing, Claire. We'll wrap things up, but just super well done on such an amazing journey, and just being so outspoken and transparent as well, because you haven't just changed yourself, the ripple effect is going out and you're influencing other people as well, and that's the beauty of it. So is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, I don't think so. Just, I guess if you're thinking about it, you know, joining Scott and Vida's program, just do it. You know, I'm a living example that it works, not just for the program for the 3 months or whatever that you're working with them, but long term as well. Just do it. And if you want to send me any messages or whatever, if you need any help from me, just send me a message on Instagram. Scott and Vida, I'm sure we'll put my link on there. So if you need any help, just let me know.
Thanks, Claire. Thank you so much. And you set up your own Instagram account to document your journey with us and your wellness journey. So we'll attach that in the comments. Massive well done, Claire. Keep pushing forward, onwards ever, backwards never. And thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story with everyone.
No worries. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste indeed.